On the Obtuse Angles Wrestling Podcast with Kyle and Jeremy. Sorry, there's not a whole lot of piss and vinegar in my voice, not a whole lot of gusto in the intro. I'm a little disappointed today, Jeremy. I gotta say, I'm a little, the wind has been taken out of my sails. You know what I mean?
Yeah, somebody took the gem out of your donut.
They did. Someone took the jizz out of my mouth. I don't even fucking know what we're talking about. Today, we're going to be doing something lighthearted, easy to do, easy to talk about. We're going to be doing the Crucifixion of Sandman. And, all right, here's the deal, guys. We've been doing this show now for, a year and a half, 2 years, 6 years, something like that.
Yeah.
And for the first time ever, we are on video. Right now, we are, doing the...
Don't look into the camera.
I'm acknowledging the video. Am I not supposed to look at the video as I'm talking about the video?
You're breaking the fourth wall.
People, really? The fourth wall? This whole fucking show breaks the fourth wall. This is a kayfabe breaking fourth wall show.
I have 6 months of film school under my belt that says you're not supposed to break the fourth wall.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how about Quentin Tarantino? Okay, what about some of the best programs of all time?
When did Tarantino break the fourth wall?
How fucking old do I feel when I use the word program, by the way? Oh, my God. Anyway, guys, here's the deal, okay? You guys, like I said, we've been doing this show for a year and a half now, and you saw photos of us, you saw video of us, and you said, when are you guys are so handsome, you're so beautiful, you're so photogenic. When are we going to see video of you recording the show? Isn't that right?
I'm positive no one has ever said that, ever, not once.
Even your girlfriend, and she is in the room with us right now. See, this show is going to be the first, it's the first for a lot of reasons, right? It's the first time that somebody has been sitting in with us, watching us do the show since the John Morrison episode.
Yeah.
And we wanted it to be the first episode that was on Periscope. The app that is associated with Twitter in some way. You log on, you watch the video.
Yeah.
Well, for some reason, that didn't work because apparently you and I were so fat that we couldn't fit in the fucking frame together. Isn't that what happened?
Periscope broadcasts on Twitter in what we call a 4:3 aspect ratio, which is standard definition.
The old school wood panel TV way that you watch porn back in the day, right? That aspect ratio.
Exactly. And then I set up the video stream to be in a 16:9 aspect ratio, which is set for high definition at 1080 pixels by 1920 pixels.
Explain to me in porn how, like Blu-ray porn, right?
Yeah, it's basically Blu-ray porn versus... like Debbie Does Dallas.
Or Silk Stockings.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Okay, cool.
It's like Deep Throat versus, I don't know who's a big porn star. My girlfriend's in the room, so it's really hard for me to pretend
fucking look at you. I don't know who's a big porn star.
I have no idea.
You can watch porno on your phone? Oh, I didn't know. Oh.
Yeah.
I don't want the fact that your lovely girlfriend is in the room to affect you on this episode, Jeremy. I want you to act like she's not even here, pretend she's not even in the room. I want you to talk about titties the way you usually do, about sexy chicks, about Lita's thong. Does your girlfriend know how much you loved Lita back in the day?
I don't know. She does now.
She does now.
She doesn't listen to the show. She's like...
I thought she listened to the show.
No, she doesn't. She's like, you come on, fat man. Like, I got to listen to your bullshit enough.
Is that what she says, come on, fat man?
Yeah. She said, come on, fat man. I got to listen to your bullshit enough. I'm not going to donate any extra amount of time to listen to you talk about wrestling.
Okay, because I thought that you found a cool chick, a beautiful girl who liked wrestling. That's hard. That is impossible to find.
No, I did. Wrestling she likes just fine. It's just my bullshit she doesn't like.
That's your bullshit.
Yeah, it's my shit she doesn't want to put up with.
You see, look, we're 4 minutes into the episode. I've already forgotten about the camera, and this is going to be the hardest thing I've ever had to watch. Have you ever watched yourself on camera when you didn't know you were being filmed?
Yeah, I don't like it.
So every little weird tick that you do with your face and thing you do with your mouth that you don't realize you fucking do, you watch in the camera, right? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So, like, watching myself do this, I've never seen myself on the fucking air. You know what I mean? I've done radio 12 years. I'm probably ugly as fuck right now.
You know what's funny?
Uglier than you usually am.
Like the last time I saw myself on video, actually I just watched it a few days ago. I had a family member tag me in an old home video from Christmas.
Oh,
I was like 9 years old, and I had a rat tail and Joey Buttafuoco pants.
Did you really?
Yeah.
You look like a miniature Joey Buttafuoco.
I look like a fat little Joey Buttafuoco with a rat tail.
Speaking of Joey Buttafuoco, we got to talk about this aside. I love how Julie is in the corner going, what? Speaking of Joey Buttafuoco, what could he possibly have to say about Joey Buttafuoco?
We don't really have real segues on this show.
We don't.
So we just make them up as we go.
We have the opposite of segues. And I'm noticing, I'm okay, first of all, I know I do something with my eyes. I do something with my eyes because my contacts are always fucked up. And I twitch my eyes when I wear my contacts and not my glasses. I love how you just agree. Yeah, you do. You look fucking crazy.
Yeah, you're odd looking.
But I know now that when I watch the video of this shit, which we're going to put on YouTube, that people are going to go, does Kyle have fucking Tourette's? And I might have fucking Tourette's, goddamn motherfucker. Joey Buttafuoco, going back to that shit. A few weeks ago, we filmed the show out of order. Sometimes we film episodes like today a couple of weeks in advance. You made a comment about how we were talking about Joey Buttafuoco boxing China in celebrity boxing, and you called China, quote, an old gorilla bitch.
All right, listen. Listen. All right, I went back and I've listened to that episode, and I just want to formally apologize. I made those remarks. Look, it's not, okay, look, you know what, fuck this shit. I'm not backpedaling, let's be real. China was an old gorilla bitch.
Oh, wow.
Everybody likes her. I liked her. I think she's great. She was a great in-ring performer.
She was a legend. A Hall of Famer, absolutely a WWE Hall of Famer.
And a sweetheart.
What I was going to say is you made those comments before she died. I was trying to help you out.
No, that's what I was getting to. Like, I did refer to her as an old gorilla bitch, and then she died like 5 days later. So... You know, that's a horrible, but what am I going to do? Apologize and just look like even more like an asshole?
Because we do not record episodes as far in advance as we used to. Like when we first started the show, we would record shit sometimes fucking 3 months in advance, you know? And the whole time I kept thinking, surely some comment that we make, some joke that we make, somebody is going to fucking die in like June, and the episode's going to come out in September, and it's going to be like, yeah, I saw an interview with him yesterday, and people are going to go, what?
Yeah.
So, but it happened, and it happened to be with China. So, but you were not backpedaling on her being an old gorilla bitch.
Yeah, and by old gorilla bitch, like, I mean, you know, she's beefy and muscly, and
speaking of,
you know, I'm tired of making excuses for it. She's a large, gigantic, muscular, gorilla-like woman, and I'm sorry that she passed away, and that's horrible, and that's a tragedy or whatever, but I just look like an asshole if I keep backpedaling anymore.
Speaking of her beefy, let's talk about her Playboy for a minute. I unabashedly, you and your girlfriend is saying she owned it. I unabashedly masturbated many times to China. You did? Really? She's okay. She's saying, fuck yeah, she did too. Yeah. Your girlfriend is cooler than you, Jeremy. I got made fun of incessantly for years over the fact that I found China legitimately fucking attractive. I thought she was hot. I thought, she looked like she could rip my dick off in a heartbeat, and we talk about castration far too much on this show, but I thought she was fucking hot.
I think, let me give you my opinion on China's naked body.
Okay.
And this is just going to dig me further into a ditch anyway. But she had a gigantic clitoris.
She did, well, okay, she did.
And I can't go down on any woman, like it would be like blowing a guy, kind of, I imagine. I imagine it would be like you don't get down there and tongue punch it, like you actually have head motion, like you go down on China like this.
Back and forth. Okay. Now we have, and again, the reason that your girlfriend is in the studio, for everybody wondering at home, she was going to be on the show, but she's sick. She felt that she couldn't bring it on the mic, which is very amazing that she's that self-aware. I've been on radio now for well over a decade. I'm still not aware of the fact that I can't bring it on the mic, but she thought that she couldn't. But let me ask her, as somebody, the only person I assume in the room who has gone down on a guy,
namely me,
namely you.
No, I'm the only one.
Do you think, Jeremy's girlfriend Julie, that going down on China would be similar to blowing a man? Yes or no? She's saying no. She's saying no. Okay, well, there you go, Jeremy.
Well, that's good, because that means that my dick is bigger than China's clit.
Well,
which I didn't know. Like, I wasn't sure. It was pretty neck and neck.
There's no way it was that big. It was neck and neck. It was head and head.
Yeah.
If you would like to go back and listen to that infamous episode where Jeremy insulted and desecrated the memory of the wrestling legend Chyna, you could do so.
I didn't desecrate her memory. We're doing it right now. We're fucking up her memory now because she's passed away, but she wasn't passed away when we recorded that episode.
Obtuseangles.libsyn.com. That's the website you can go to if you do not have iTunes. You can go to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. Share, please. Help us out. Subscribe to the fucking podcast. Follow us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at Obtuse Podcast for all of the information that you require. What's that, Jeremy? You look upset right now.
No, I just, I don't know. Like, I feel like this is going to be one of those episodes, like the Muhammad Hassan episode, that's just never going to see the light of day.
Why wouldn't it see the light of day?
I don't know. I just got a feeling that we're going to go back, listen to it, and go, dude, no, that was too much.
I don't think so. I don't think. Well, we are referring to the episode is going to be about the crucifixion of the Sandman by Raven, which is, again, as I said.
So we're going from like desecrating the memory of a person who recently died, and jumping right into just being completely and utterly sacrilegious.
See,
this episode, I got a feeling, is never going to see the light of day.
I thought that you were going to. I thought that you were going to twist it and go, wait a minute, Kyle, so you're telling me that in this episode we are going to desecrate the memory of our Lord and Savior, somebody who is the most important person to ever walk this earth, and we're going to be talking about Jesus. Is that where you were going?
No, that wasn't where I was going.
Huh?
No, that wasn't where I was going.
Okay.
No.
Before we get to that, I want to again refer to the video, which will be, I guess, by the time you're listening to this, is going to be on YouTube. We never talk about the YouTube page that we have.
Yeah,
Jeremy.
we have a YouTube channel. It's got like 19 views.
It has like 65.
Like if you add up all the views we like of every video, we have about 19 views.
That is.
We have 3 subscribers.
We have a few. I will say this, though. Going to YouTube and checking out this video is worth it just so you can see the shit box of a professional radio studio that we record in.
Yeah, it'll be neat to finally see what we actually look like. And I guarantee that if anyone does watch this on YouTube,
right,
they're going to be like, nah, just go back to audio. It's fine.
Do we really need to see these guys?
Yeah.
I go on Twitter and I see other wrestling podcasts, and a lot of the podcasts, the people look the way you think they would, like us. You know what I mean? Like, but some of them, they're way too fucking sexy to be radio or podcast personalities.
Yeah.
Like that. See, that's a new phenomenon. Okay, you know, because again, like speaking to somebody who's in radio, when I first started radio years ago, everybody was fat and / or fucking ugly. Okay, and that's the way it should be. All right, but nowadays with your billboards and your internet presences and your Facebook pages, the radio people are literally being fucking hired to radio shows based on how they look. That's not a joke.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like when I look for other radio gigs, because this place is such a fucking shithole. What? No? Come on. Like my boss could be. It's a fucking shithole.
There's shag carpeting on the walls.
Like look. Again, go to the YouTube video. That's asbestos. We're dying right now because of asbestos.
Yeah.
When I look for other radio gigs with places that don't have old cancer-causing chemicals and shag carpets in the walls, they ask me to send in headshots. Like, for radio!
Yeah.
Fucking headshots!
No, that's weird. Do you... it's really weird because I remember the very first, the picture we posted on Twitter. Do you recall the comments? They were like, Jeremy kind of looks like Michael Moore ate Roseanne.
No, I don't.
And Kyle looks like he combed his hair with a mattress. So, I mean, we're obviously, like, I get a feeling this is the last video we're going to do.
Well, I there might be an overwhelming demand to. No, there won't. There won't be that. But no, so you can.
Our British presence will be like, no, go back to audio, mate. I don't know really
mate? What the fuck? Is that's like one British colloquialism, and that's
mate. It. That's the only one.
We are huge in England, by the way. That's a real thing. We're big in England.
We've had like 2 people tell us how huge we are in England.
Would you please? Would you not give a number? You can just say multiple people. It's still true, isn't it?
Yeah.
Multiple people have told us how big we are in England. So enough fucking around, Jeremy. I think that we should get into the subject of the... No. You know what? We are going to fuck around a bit more because I had to bring this up. And
you had other things you needed to talk about.
I did. And, two things really quickly, okay?
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure when it's going to air because I feel like promoting it forever and a day. But if you've been following us on Twitter, as I said, you obviously should.
This is huge fucking news, by the way.
Or Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. Jeremy, let me ask you a question. Who is the guest that for over a year now I have wanted on this show? Above anybody else, my dream guest for the show. Hulk Hogan, above Hogan, okay? Above Randy Macho Man Savage, which would be huge news because he's been dead for 6 years. Who is the dream guest I have wanted on this show?
Glacier.
Ray Lloyd, a.k.a. Coach Buzz Stern, a.k.a. the man with the cryonic kick, Glacier. He is going to be on this show. We have already recorded the episode. Bada bing, bada boom, it's done. I don't know why I threw that in, but Glacier is going to be on this show very soon. It is a hell of an interview, man.
Yeah, I listened to it. It's I'm just not excited about Glacier coming on the show.
It's your show too. What a horrible way of promoting your show.
Yeah,
I listened to it. It's it's all right. It's a good fucking interview.
No, it was actually a wonderful interview.
It's a hilarious interview.
And I get it. I understand how excited you are to have Glacier on the episode. He's been your dream guest.
But Glacier's cool, dude. But it couldn't have went any cooler than I tried, man. I hit him up on Facebook. He gives me his home phone number.
Yeah.
He tells me to call him. I do. He answers, and we talk for 45 minutes, like we were old friends. Yes, Julie's like selling it over there. Why aren't you selling it?
I got to be honest. It's finally you want me to tell you the truth? You want me to let the cat out of the bag?
Yeah, tell me the fucking truth.
How does it work? You want me to let Abdullah the Butcher out of the big black box?
Please do. Go ahead. Yes.
The truth is, you have your dream guest on the show. You've gotten him, and you did a 1 hour and 8 minute interview with your dream guest.
Yes.
Okay, who's my dream guest to get on the show?
Jim Cornette.
Okay, and we had
Jim Cornette on. They can go back and check that out.
Yeah, how long was Jim Cornette on the show?
It wasn't.
How long was the Jim Cornette interview?
It's like 8 minutes.
Which is exactly 1 hour shorter than your interview with Ray Park.
Ray Lloyd, not Ray Park.
I don't even care. What's his name?
Ray Lloyd. His name is Glacier, okay? It's not my fault. I had to corner Jim Cornette at a comic book convention to get that interview. You were there. Why don't you even care? We went out of our way. Okay, Jim Cornette is a sweetheart and a nice guy, and he didn't have to do that. But, we had him on for about 8 minutes and 3 seconds, which is 8 minutes and 2 seconds longer than he wanted to be on our show, okay?
He made that very clear, didn't he?
Multiple times during the course of the 8-minute interview, he really joked about why he was even on the show, okay? But we got him. We got Jim Cornette.
Yeah.
We got Glacier. So rather than you basking in the glory, and speaking of basking in glory, what about the fact that Jim Ross mentioned this show, Obtuse Angles,
well, you know what?
his latest podcast.
All right, let's be honest. That was really fucking cool.
That was fucking cool.
That was really cool. We got mentioned on the Ross Report.
On the Ross Report with Jim Ross.
Not the old Ross Report that was on Saturday mornings or whatever.
As
part of WCW Saturday Morning.
Oh, see, I was thinking about the Ross Report in WWF Magazine back in the 90s.
And there was the phone line. You could call the Ross Report.
That was called the Ross Report. There have been a lot of Ross Reports.
But we were mentioned on the podcast Ross Report, and you can go back and listen to that episode. I'm not sure what number of the Ross Report it is, but we got mentioned on there.
Yes.
That was really exciting. Yeah, I'll give it, yeah.
Yes.
That was really cool.
Yeah, so go back and check that out, Podcast One. They are a wonderful service, and we're not just saying that because we would love to be a part of their glorious brand and their amazing network of affordable and fantastic podcasts. Hi, YouTube. All right, let's get to the. Are you showing your
product placement?
Are you showing your Diet Mountain Dew off to the camera?
I am.
Because I love it. So many.
Well, it's crisp and refreshing.
You know they're not paying us yet, right?
Yet.
We can't just say the names of sponsors that we want to pay us because that would be
Apple iPhone 6.
And he's modeling it for the camera. Let's get to the episode. We're going to be talking about the crucifixion of Sandman. Jeremy, this is, I tried to find every piece of information I could on this. And honest to God, unfortunately, there wasn't a whole lot. It happened in ECW back during the infamous feud. Sandman and Raven were fighting each other. Sandman's estranged wife joined Raven, as did Raven's son.
Yeah.
Which was a fantastic storyline.
Who was terrible at taking direction.
He was. He was
a horrible, horrible child actor. He was Corey Feldman.
He was. Well, Corey Feldman, yeah. Too bad he couldn't have wound up like Corey Feldman. I don't know. Was he the one that died?
His dad is the Sandman. There's a good chance he wound up like Corey Feldman.
We're going to be getting heat from the Sandman on the show, too.
We'll be getting heat from Corey Feldman.
That kid was not a child actor. He was...
Is Corey Feldman dead?
Yeah, one of them died.
It was Haim,
I'm
right?
I'm sure that your girlfriend knows.
It was Corey Haim,
she's
yeah.
Googling. Well, hold on. Wait a minute. No.
That's not my girlfriend. That's the producer.
Our producer. Your girlfriend was a kid in the 80s. You were a girl in the 80s, and you don't know which Corey is dead? How do you not know? I almost know. Oh, my God. All right.
I think it's Haim.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was. It might have been Haim. I think Haim. Yeah, Haim OD'd, right? Was it Haim? Okay, we're getting confirmation from our producer here, our Jeremy's girlfriend, that Haim did in fact OD. So it took place October 26th, 1996.
When Haim OD'd?
No, that was much later. The Sandman's son interfered in a match between Raven and Too Cold Scorpio and helped his father because, as we said, the Sandman's son had joined Raven after Raven brainwashed the Sandman's son by telling him that the Sandman was the reason that their marriage fell apart. And he no longer loved him, which is a fantastic storyline.
It's weird that Paul Heyman went sunk as low as to recycle old material from my home as a child. That's basically, but Paul Heyman was kind of stealing some ideas there.
So after the match, the Sandman hugged his estranged 8-year-old son in what was supposed to be a tender moment, but Raven came from behind with a kendo stick, smacked the Sandman, and that's when Stevie Richards and the Blue Meanie came out. They pulled a cross, a giant wooden cross, out from under the ring. They tied the Sandman to the cross. They put a ring of thorns, like a barbed wire ring of thorns, just to really drive the blasphemy home, as it were.
You know what's great is that during this whole thing that's going on in the ring, like, you don't realize yet that that they're about to turn on Sandman. So Sandman hugs the son. The son backs up, and he's looking outside the ring for his cue. And you can see him, like he was supposed to do the Raven, the arms outstretched.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah.
The kid is like, he keeps doing it, but like the producers are telling him no, so he keeps putting his hands down to his side.
Yeah.
The kid was just horrible.
Well,
but in his defense, he wasn't an actor. He was legitimately Sandman's son.
Well, and the funny thing about it, too, is you're right, and I can't believe that there was ever even anybody in ECW there to give anybody a cue.
Yeah.
But, like, the kid kind of does it for a second and then stops, and then he kind of does it again. Because the whole point, as Raven would later explain in an interview, is he wasn't trying to be blasphemous. He was trying to make the Sandman do the Raven pose, which was because Raven said that the Raven character was a martyr for society's pain or whatever, and that's why he did the arm stretched out.
I'm going to go ahead and stop you there. I'm going to call bullshit on that. He could have sold that as his reason why he did it. Right up until he put the crown of thorns on his head.
Well, you know
what?
Though?
That was.
I don't know, man. I think that Raven is a blowhard. Raven is a brilliant.
He is.
Yeah, but I think he's a brilliant man, even though he does think he's smarter than he is. However, I've watched a lot of shoot interviews of Raven. I've never seen Raven as a bullshitter. I don't think that Raven's bullshitting. I think that he had a grander artistic point to make.
I don't at all. I
Really?
get
You
the
don't think
opposite
so?
when I think. No, when I see every time Scott Levy opens his mouth, I think he's just fucking lying.
Really? Every
time he opens his mouth, yeah. I get that feeling.
I didn't take it that way. I don't know. But Steven Richards and the Blue Meanie, as I said, come out to the ring. They put Raven in the cross, or I should say Sandman on the cross. They put the crowns on him. They tie up the cross. And Sandman was the one who built the cross.
Yeah.
Which I always found hilarious that he built his own cross to be hung on. And that's when...
well, that's kind of by the Bible. I mean... They made Jesus Christ drag his own cross to Calvary Hill. I mean, they really stuck true to the original material. And,
you know what though? Still like the book better. Thought the book was better. I don't know.
It was a remake that was true to the original. It was like a Marcus Nispel horror film, so it would stay true.
Well, that is a very obscure reference.
Yeah.
According to the ECW DVDs, Stevie Richards said that the whole time that him and Meanie were putting Sandman in the cross, he was going, "Man, this is fucked up. Man, this is fucked up."
Well, they're both Catholic. So.
Yeah, they were. They were both Catholic. And Raven was Jewish. Not really Jewish, but his parents were Jewish.
He was Jewish.
He was Jewish. Is that what it is? Is that why it's called that?
It's like when you're sort of Jewy, you're Jewish.
Is that why it's called that, though? Because nobody was really proud to be Jewish? And then when
they killed Christ. They weren't
Jewish. How many Jews are we offending right now? And you
many.
know they listen because our podcast is free. What?
This episode's never going to see the light of day.
It totally will. It totally will. We are just joking. No, but apparently, according to Raven, people asked him, they said, well, you're a Jew. Why couldn't you have placed the Sandman on a Star of David instead of a cross? And then Raven said, well, because he would have had to have been rolled away. That's what he said.
What a perfect response to that. Yeah, which made sense. I mean, everybody should have he should have never came out and gave that bottled apology afterwards because everybody should have been like, oh, well, he's a Jew, he doesn't know better.
Well, apparently Raven did come out later in the night and Paul Heyman made him give an apology. Now, the reason that he gave an apology, you have a couple of reasons. First of all, when he did it, the crowd went silent. Not a whole lot of booing, not a whole lot of cheering. They were just in disbelief. Did we really just see that shit? And Raven, however, claims to this day, and I'm quoting him here, he says that it had that, quote, quiet Japanese heat.
That quiet Japanese
Which, if that's not the best, most ass-backward way of defending your angle that didn't get over, no, brother, it had that quiet Japanese heat. So Raven had to come out. Raven had to give this half-hearted, insincere apology. He was directed to do so by Paul Heyman. The reason Paul Heyman told him to was it offended Joey Styles, who is very religious. If you follow his Twitter, you know he's extremely conservative guy. It offended Taz, and offending Taz is something that you never want to do.
Now no one gives a shit. Everybody just talks shit about Taz. But back in the day, before people found out that Taz wasn't as tough as he made himself out to be.
Oh, you think he wasn't?
You didn't want to offend him.
You think that Taz wasn't as tough as he thought?
Literally every interview I've ever heard or saw or read from anyone who was in Extreme Championship Wrestling in the locker room at that time, they all said Taz was a gimmick.
Really?
Yeah, they said he wasn't tough.
Well, he played that...
Rob Van Dam smacked the shit out of me. He didn't do anything about it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, New Jack challenged him to step outside to a fight. He didn't do anything about it.
I didn't hear about this. Well, hold on.
Yeah, literally after a match, there had been like something went wrong in a match. I'm not sure if it was a botched spot or something like that. But afterwards, it was Rob Van Dam and Taz. Rob Van Dam walks into the locker room, holds out both of his hands and says, pick a hand to Taz. And then presumably pick which hand you want me to smack you in the fucking face with.
That's hilarious.
And then Taz won't pick a hand, so Rob Van Dam just smacks the shit out of him.
I can't believe RVD did. Like RVD seems like the most like laid back, chill bro.
Yeah.
Like when you're punked out by RV fucking
by a notorious fucking stoner.
Oh, he probably had a fucking spliff in his mouth at that moment.
He probably did.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But I'll defend Taz when you say
I'm not stepping outside to fight New Jack either.
God no. No, I could be a transformer and I wouldn't step outside to fight fucking New Jack. That's ridiculous. Going back to it, though, Paul Heyman wanted Raven to apologize because Kurt Angle was there that night. ECW was trying to seduce Kurt Angle. This is 1996, I believe. That's what I said. This is right after Kurt Angle won the gold medal in the 96 Olympics in America, in Atlanta, come from behind victory. Kurt Angle is a shoot Olympic hero. ECW tried to sign Angle. Angle is Catholic, as many other, because the ECW arena is in South Philly.
Yeah.
South Philly is a notorious Catholic neighborhood, which is another one of the reasons why everybody in the arena was freaked out and offended by it. Yeah. So Angle comes to Heyman, and he says, because Angle did commentary that night on a match, and he was shown on camera earlier, so Angle says, if you put me on TV with that crucifixion angle on the same show, you're going to be hearing from my attorney. So, apparently Angle, now there's two different versions I've heard. Angle says that he said that to Paul Heyman's face. Joey Styles says that Angle said that to him because the moment that Heyman caught wind of the fact that Angle was offended, Heyman split.
Yeah, he completely washed his hands of it,
kind of like Pontius Pilate or whatever. Yeah. He just fucking, hey, we're doing Bible references.
He was like a Vegas dealer. Like they come back and told him Kurt Angle was pissed, and he just shows his hands and takes off out the back door. Right,
and again, so Raven said that I, quote, defend my decision for using religious iconography to convey an artistic standpoint.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty much it. That's the whole deal. And again, I want to quote Raven, and then this is in a later... This is
Nevermore.
Nevermore. This is in... See, and your girlfriend laughed at that. That's how you can tell you need to hold on to that girl, because she laughed at your geeky wrestling reference.
My Edgar Allan Poe reference, right. Technically.
In a later interview a few years ago, Raven said, quote, I knew I had to make... hold on, I'm gonna do my Raven voice. I knew I had to make a big impact, and I thought, why don't I crucify the Sandman? That'd be great.
Did Raven just walk in here? That's crazy.
He said, that'd be great. Raven said that one of the people who was the most offended by it was Joey Styles.
Yeah.
And Raven said that he told Joey, quote, what are you talking about? You say, oh my God, every high spot. You're not supposed to use the Lord's name in vain.
Yeah, that is kind of a good point.
That's a good point. So I'm going to say Raven had a good point there. But yeah, now, did that ever air on television?
No, I don't believe it did.
The crucifixion angle, because as much as I read about it...
I don't think it was originally shot for ECW TV, was it? I think it was shot for for one of the ECW home videos.
Oh,
right?
it might have been. I
think it was.
I know that I've seen the video, but I haven't seen anywhere that it actually aired on TV.
It was for November to Crucify.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Not a catchy name. I think
they eventually changed it to Remember or something that rhymed.
It might have been, yeah. Well, we remembered that forever. We're remembering it 20 years later, and that's going to be the end of the episode this week. Thank you guys so much for checking us out. Very excited. We got the Glacier interview coming up very soon. Check out the video of this illustrious, glorious podcast on the YouTube channel. Got to remind you again, obtuseangles.libsyn.com. Also, subscribe on iTunes, 5-star rating at Obtuse Podcast on Twitter. Like the Facebook page. Jeremy, do you have anything else you want to say?
Supplemental material!
All of the interviews, all of the episodes, all of the video that accompanies the interviews. Speaking of interviews, last week's interview with Johnny Candido, man, we got supplemental material for that. That's a hell of an interview. Go check that out. We talked to Johnny about his lifelong friends, Balls Mahoney and Axel Rotten. Really a moving, kind of tear-jerking fucking interview, but a good way of remembering ECW legends who didn't crucify people, Jeremy.
That is a really good, yeah.
So next week...
Well said.
We are going to be back on the show next week. We did the crucifixion of Raven, or I should say of Sandman. Coming up very soon, we're going to do another biblically influenced storyline. We're going to be talking about Shawn Michaels tag teaming with God at Backlash 2006 with a twist. I was sitting 4th row that night, so I'm going to tell you all about that show. But again, I thought that angle was a bit hilarious, and we're going to be talking about that